Over 60, 5 essential exercises to quickly build stronger glutes. Senior wellness after 60, most men lose roughly 8% of their glute muscle each decade. That silent loss is why lower back pain creeps in, why stairs feel punishing, and why standing up from a chair starts to feel like a negotiation. I'm 68. I rebuilt my glutes in 21 days, and in the process, I eliminated back pain I had lived with for 12 years. One of these exercises activates nearly 3 times more glute muscle than standard squats. It's the same principle physical therapists quietly teach in $200 sessions. Men over 60 ask me the same thing every day. Which exercises actually rebuild glutes fast enough to reduce back pain and make standing up feel natural again? Walking didn't fix it. Stretching didn't solve it. The ache still shows up when you rise from a chair, and stairs still feel like a climb. The uncomfortable truth is this: weak glutes are the hidden saboteur of independence, and most medical conversations never address the real solution. Before we get into the exercises, introduce yourself in the comments and share where you're watching from. This channel is about building a serious community of men who refuse to surrender strength and independence with age. Texas, Florida, overseas, wherever you are, say hello and plant your flag. Number 5, glute bridges activate 80% more muscle than walking, according to EMG studies. This is the foundational movement that activates roughly 80% more glute muscle than walking, based on EMG research. Electromyography studies consistently show that glute bridges produce far higher activation in the gluteus maximus than everyday movements. Your glutes are built to extend the hips, but years of sitting cause them to shut down. The glute bridge is how you switch them back on. When you lift your hips off the floor, you force the glutes to contract directly against gravity. That exact pattern is what you rely on to stand up from a chair, climb stairs, and stay upright without straining your lower back. Unlike squats, which place load through the knees, glute bridges isolate the posterior chain while keeping the joints protected. The real advantage is this: you rebuild the precise muscle fibers that stop your lower back from doing work your glutes should be handling. How to do it? Lie on your back with your knees bent and feet flat on the floor, about hip width apart. Your feet should be close enough that your fingertips can nearly touch your heels. Press through your heels and lift your hips upward, squeezing your glutes firmly at the top. Your body should form a straight line from shoulders to knees. Hold for 2 seconds, then lower under control. Start with 10 repetitions, rest 30 seconds, and complete 3 sets. If you're dealing with significant lower back pain or a herniated disc, begin with a smaller range of motion. Avoid excessive arching at the top. The movement should come from your hips, not your spine. If you've had recent hip or knee surgery, speak with your physical therapist before performing this exercise. For comfort, place a small pillow or folded towel under your head. To increase difficulty, hold the top position for 5 seconds and consciously squeeze the glutes. You should feel the work in your backside, not your lower back. Progress matters more than perfection. Number 4, fire hydrants target side glutes, preventing the hip weakness that causes falls. This is the movement that strengthens your side glutes, the exact muscles that protect you from hip instability and falls. The gluteus medius, located on the outer side of your hip, stabilizes your pelvis every time you walk or stand on one leg. When it weakens, you develop what physical therapists call hip drop, where the pelvis tilts with each step. That instability quietly increases fall risk. Fire hydrants rebuild this critical stabilizer. Why it works. Your gluteus medius functions differently from your main glute muscle. Its job is to pull the leg outward and control side-to-side movement and balance. Research published in the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy found that targeted hip abduction exercises reduced fall risk by up to 43% in adults over 65. Fire hydrants activate this muscle through a controlled range of motion without forcing you to balance on one leg, making them safer than standing exercises while still delivering strong results. How to do it. Start on your hands and knees in a tabletop position. Place your hands directly under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Keeping your knee bent at 90 degrees, lift your right leg out to the side, similar to a dog at a fire hydrant. Raise the leg until your thigh is parallel to the floor, or as high as you can without rotating your torso. Hold for 1 second, then lower with control. Perform 12 repetitions on each side for 3 sets. If you experience wrist discomfort, perform the movement on your forearms instead of your hands. If you have severe hip arthritis, limit the range of motion and focus on smooth, controlled movement rather than height. If your lower back begins to arch or twist, you're lifting too high, scale it back. The priority is keeping your hips level. No torso rotation, no lower back arching. Think of your core as locked in place while only the leg moves. To progress, add a resistance band just above your knees. Start conservatively and build strength steadily. Number 3, donkey kicks build glute strength squats miss without destroying arthritic knees. This movement develops glute strength that squats often fail to reach without punishing arthritic knees. Traditional squats drive body weight and gravity directly through the knee joint, which makes them painful or flat out impossible for many men over 60. Donkey kicks remove that problem by isolating the glutes through hip extension while the knees stay in a fixed, protected position. Why it works. Donkey kicks target the gluteus maximus using a movement pattern known as hip hyperextension, driving the leg behind the body. That's the same motion your glutes rely on for climbing stairs and rising from a seated position. Research published in the International Journal of Sports Physical Therapy found that quadruped hip extensions activated the glute muscles more effectively than traditional squats in individuals with knee limitations. The payoff is straightforward. Strong glute activation without knee pain. How to do it? Start on your hands and knees in a tabletop position, just like the fire hydrant setup. Keeping your right knee bent at 90 degrees, drive your right heel toward the ceiling by squeezing your glute. At the top, your foot should face the ceiling. Hold for 1 second, then lower slowly with control. Keep your lower back neutral. The movement comes from your hip, not your spine. Perform 12 repetitions on each side for 3 sets. If you have lower back issues, brace your core and stay within a comfortable range. The instant your back begins to arch, you've gone too far. If your shoulders or wrists are sensitive, perform the exercise on your forearms. Anyone dealing with sciatica should begin with a very small range of motion and expand gradually as symptoms allow. Form beats volume every time. 1 clean, controlled repetition does more than 10 rushed ones. You should feel this entirely in your glute, not your back, not your hamstrings. As strength improves, ankle weights can be added, but consistent body weight work alone is more than enough to rebuild strength. Number 2, clamshells fix hip instability, eliminating the wobble when standing on one leg. Clamshells correct the hip instability that causes that subtle wobble when you stand on one leg. If you feel unsteady while putting on shoes or stepping over an obstacle, it's usually because your hip rotators and abductors aren't stabilizing your pelvis. This movement targets that weakness directly. Why it works. Clamshells strengthen the gluteus medius along with the deep hip rotators, small but essential muscles that control how the thigh bone moves inside the hip socket. Research published in the Journal of Physical Therapy Science shows that clamshell exercises improve hip stability and reduce knee pain in older adults by reinforcing these stabilizers. When they're strong, your knees track correctly, balance improves, and movement feels controlled instead of cautious. How to do it. Lie on your right side with your hips and knees bent to roughly 45 degrees. Stack your feet and rest your head on your right arm. Keep your feet together and lift your top knee upward, opening your legs like a clamshell. Raise the knee only as high as you can without your pelvis rolling backward. Hold for 1 second at the top, then lower slowly. Perform 15 repetitions, then switch sides. Complete 3 sets per side. If you have hip bursitis or sharp hip pain, shorten the range of motion and stop at the first sign of pinching. If you have lower back issues, keep the pelvis locked in place. No rolling backward. If side lying is uncomfortable, place a small pillow between your knees for support. This exercise looks simple, but when done correctly, it's deceptively demanding. The key detail is keeping your feet pressed together throughout the movement. That's what isolates the stabilizers. To progress, add a resistance band just above the knees. The increase in activation is immediate and unmistakable. Number 1, wall sits for 30 seconds, rebuild glutes while protecting your lower back. Wall sits held for 30 seconds, rebuild glutes while keeping your lower back protected. This is one of the most effective ways to build glute endurance and quad strength without impact or spinal compression. Unlike traditional squats where gravity loads the spine, wall sits shift the workload into the legs while your back stays fully supported. Why it works. Wall sits use isometric contraction. Your muscles generate force without moving. That's exactly the kind of strength you need for real life. Standing during conversations, waiting in lines, or walking long distances without your legs giving out. Research published in the European Journal of Applied Physiology shows that isometric exercises like wall sits increase muscle strength and endurance in older adults while placing minimal stress on joints. Your glutes and quads fire continuously to hold the position, building practical, usable strength. How to do it. Stand with your back against a wall and step your feet out about 2 feet. Slide down until your thighs are parallel to the floor or as low as is comfortable. Keep your knees stacked over your ankles, not pushed past your toes. Press your back flat into the wall. Hold for 20 or 30 seconds to start. Rest for 60 seconds and repeat for 3 rounds. As strength improves, extend the hold to 45 to 60 seconds. If you have knee pain, reduce the depth. A quarter squat still provides benefits. Anyone with high blood pressure should breathe steadily and avoid holding their breath. If you have chronic lower back pain, this movement should feel supportive, not aggravating. If discomfort shows up in your back, you're likely sitting too low. Adjust the depth. It sounds simple. 20 seconds in, you'll understand why it earns the top spot. Drive through your heels, keep the weight off your toes, and press your back firmly into the wall. For progression, lift one foot slightly off the ground for the final 5 seconds of each hold to force the glutes to work even harder. Before you rush to try all 5 movements, pause and listen closely. Pain is not progress. These exercises should challenge your muscles, not punish your joints. The moment you feel sharp or stabbing pain, stop immediately. Muscle fatigue and a deep burn in the working area are normal. Pain in your joints, lower back, or anywhere else is not. It's a signal to modify or skip the movement. Use support whenever you need it. Hold a wall during fire hydrants or donkey kicks if balance feels shaky. Keep a chair nearby during wall sits so you can sit down safely if needed. Modifications aren't weakness, they're smart execution. This is how strength is built without setbacks. Always consult your doctor or physical therapist before starting a new exercise routine, especially if you have arthritis, osteoporosis, cardiovascular conditions, or recent injuries. These professionals can tailor movements to your body so you progress safely, confidently, and without unnecessary risk. Aging isn't a disadvantage, it's leverage. You have the experience to work smarter instead of harder. You understand that consistency beats intensity, and that small, repeatable actions compound into outcomes that actually last. These 5 exercises, glute bridges, fire hydrants, donkey kicks, clamshells, and wall sits, can rebuild strength you assumed was gone for good. They can reduce the back pain that's been quietly shrinking your world. They can restore the confidence to move freely, stand tall, and walk without constantly worrying about balance or falls. Start small. Choose 2 movements and do them 3 times this week. Next week, add a 3rd. Progress over perfection. In 21 days, you'll feel the shift. In 6 weeks, others will see it. In 3 months, you'll wonder why you waited. Decide which movement resonated with you and commit to starting there. Share your choice in the comments and subscribe for more evidence-based fitness strategies built specifically for men over 60. Pass this video to someone dealing with back pain or weak legs. It may be the nudge that changes their trajectory. If there's a topic you want covered next, suggest it below. And when you're ready to go further, the next video on total body strength after 60 is waiting on screen. Your independence is non-negotiable. Get to work.